better just they need to let Fields line up and just give it what he's got.
Yeah, we gotta go to confidence. We beat them last year. We had Tom Brady looking like he never played football before. And then after that was the turning point for that championship was that Bears game last year. I'm telling y'all. So they got to go in with the confidence like we just beat.
I mean, Bears plus 13 is on my radar right now.
That's crazy.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot for a deep for going. Yeah,
that's
13.
13. Oh, come
13.
on.
14 with a defense that's good. 13 points, I think, is a lot. Now, if the Bucks won by 21, I wouldn't be surprised. But man,
I think I'm going to have a play on the Bears at 13. That's just too much, in my opinion. Even like you said, even if they get ran, I mean, that's the Tampa Bay's defense is not good right now. Their run defense is elite, but their secondary is trash.
Yeah, the secondary is been suspect. So,
but they haven't been able to take the Bears haven't been able to take advantage of like bad secondaries because the Packers,
man,
both of their top corners hurt. Whoever they played before the Packers had guys missing as well too. And so like when you playing against all of these like second and third string guys, good coaches normally that first or like once somebody get hurt, that first or second play call after that, they're going right at the new guy. And they haven't been able to expose these guys when the very next week that same team is getting 30 points put on them or 300 plus yards put on them. And so, like, that's really discouraging.
Right. I'm with you there, believe me. But I'm not convinced that Brady's just going to light the Bears up. I mean, they don't really let you do that. Like, even when Rodgers, they got 24, they had to earn it. You know what I mean? Like, that's – I can't see – I don't think Brady's just going to – like, 13 points, like, I mean, I don't think Brady's just going to torch them.
Yeah, and they got the confidence that they did beat them last year. For whatever it is worth, like that does mean something. Yeah, if they can't run the ball like at all, then they gotta like figure something out. Like, you gotta.
You might as well not even. You might as well not even try to run the ball against that front.
They gotta,
like
they gotta attempt. Like, you can't just go out there and throw 45 times a game with a rookie quarterback. Like, you can't just go out there and do that.
But this might have to be the first time where you just let Fields. All right, take the training wheels off. You got to go, man. Like we're and I don't know if Nagy's
kind of 3-3, so they might as well.
Right, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good segue. Hold on, y'all. I think that's a good segue to get into our show. So welcome back to Good If It Goes Jam. You got me, I'm your host with the most, Mike. My boy DJ. Well, bro, special guest, my boy Shane hopped on today.
What's good?
Y'all jumped on. Appreciate having you with us today, Shane. Appreciate you coming to jam with us. So y'all know how we get down. 3 topics. We're gonna jump right into it. So DJ, I'm about to do it. Khalil Herbert, Bears rookie running back, coming in after some injuries and just lack of depth at running back. Is he good?
Yeah, I think he's good. Like, they didn't really miss a step running the ball with him in the game last week, and also the prior game when he had to come in. Like, he was able to spell the back Damian Williams. He was able to spell him, and then like pretty much do his thing. I feel like he's just a smaller demo. Like, I feel like they found another late round guy that can be solid, and I feel like that as long as they are able to run the ball at a pretty decent clip, that they will be fine. They'll be able to showcase like what he's doing, because right now that's the strength of their offense, is being able to run the ball. They got one of the worst offenses in the league, but they had like a top 5 rushing attack. But like overall, the offense is trash. But yeah, they've been able to run the ball well. And like, he found the holes. He scored last week. He had like 90-some yards or something like that. And so like, yeah, man, like he looks solid. Like, he haven't looked like a rookie. Like, when he been in the game, they really haven't lost a step. Now, is he gonna be as good as Montgomery? We gotta wait and see. And a lot of people wasn't even sold on him. But before he got hurt, he was top 5 in rushing before he got hurt. So yeah, Khalil Herbert, I think he's good. I think they found like another guy. It's just a matter of how many touches he going to get and how they use him.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of like you said, they just found another guy. I know I was the biggest David Montgomery critic because I really don't like the way David Montgomery runs because he one of them, he want to find contact type guys. And especially his first 2 seasons, I'd be like, dude, like this is not college. Like this is not Iowa State, bro. Like you're not just gonna steamroll your way. Like this is the NFL. You gotta find holes, you know, you gotta hit them bitches. But Montgomery definitely has shown some growth, in my opinion, over the last couple of years. And you know, it always helps when your offensive line improve a little bit too, which they did, but they didn't. But I don't even really know. So Shane, any thoughts on Herbert? You got a good look at him last week.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a perfect example of what I've talked about to you for years, Mike, and even in these shows is do not draft running backs early. Guys like Khalil Herbert exist all over the place. You just got to find them. You know, I mean, you can find these guys in 4th, 5th rounds. Like they're there, and you know, you plug them in the right spot, and they can produce for you, and especially on the cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just never really going to work out for a team structure with the cap when you're, you know, paying running backs top dollar. It just doesn't make sense. It just does from a roster standpoint. And you know, the Bears have actually done a pretty good job of finding value on running backs in those later ish rounds.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think he looks pretty good. And, you know, it was a next man up type thing too. Cause you know, Damian Williams was going to be the guy that probably got all the carries against Green Bay after Montgomery went down, but obviously he went on the COVID list. So, you know, Herbert had his chance, and yeah, he looked pretty good. So I think, you know, maybe they found something. And cause like for right now, you need somewhat of a run game to take pressure off Fields, right? Like you need a guy to step in, and you know, he doesn't have to be as good as Montgomery. I don't think anybody expects that, but he's got to be able to be at least respectable as to where you're taking pressure off Fields. Cause we just talked about this. Like we don't, you know, they don't want to throw the ball 45 times a game. That's just not what anybody wants to do with a rookie quarterback. So yeah, I think the Bears did probably found something, and it's gonna be tough this week because like we talked about before we went live, you know, that Tampa run defense, man, ain't nobody running up against them. Like in order to have success against that defense, you're gonna have to throw the ball. So Matt Nagy is gonna have to get. I know this is a foreign concept, but he's gonna have to get creative and probably get Herbert involved in the passing game. You know, screens, stuff like that.
Draws.
Yeah.
Like try
stuff
to
like that.
try to like catch them off guard.
Right. Like just running through the tackles or outside. Like that's just really not going to work. So I think you're going to have to, you know, maybe get Herbert involved in the passing game a little bit this week.
And yeah, for them, a team like Tampa, you got to like throw to loosen up the run. So like once you get them guys like tired, because those big guys do not want to be on the field like trying to chase down screens, and like if they constantly got to run. So then now they tired, then you could boom, hit them with a draw, boom, hit them with a screen, and then you can get cheap yards, but like you got to be effective throwing, which I mean, I don't know who their corners is right now because they third corner just was Richard Sherman, and he just went down. So like they really don't got like they should be able to be exposed. So you got to really throw for them to loosen up the run, which I don't know if that offensive room for the Bears has those capable skills when it's so obvious, because they gonna give up a bunch of yards. Then you just got to close them down like in a red zone. Like they don't give up yards,
man. If Nagy can put it together something here, right? Like this could be the game where like Fields really like breaks out and puts up numbers. Like Robinson and Mooney should work. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to get theirs against this secondary. Like we just said, it's trash.
Yeah,
so like
everybody else did.
Right. So let it go, man. Just let Field let it go. And then like, you know, to the point of the topic on Herbert, man, like you said, you know, take some pressure off the passing game. And if they can have early success through the air, then I think then you could see, you know, Herbert get his. But that's important. It's got to be like early, because I don't know what kind of what Tampa's plan is. I mean, Tampa's plan right now is they're just going to outscore you. They're going to try to score in the 30s, and if they're going to let you get 26, 27, so be it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then even last week, Philly, even though they're not a good offense, they was really creative. They had 100 yards rushing, and half of them came from Jalen Hurts. You can't tell me that Jalen Hurts is a better athlete than Justin Fields. You just got
No.
to be creative. And Philly did; they were still in the game in the fourth quarter. Now, if they coach wasn't so stupid, maybe they do something better and actually win the game. But they was able to run because they was really creative. Like they was able to do things, different. And if you get 19 carries for 100 yards on that defense, like, bro, that's pretty good. So, like, they wasn't able to take completely advantage of the corners being out, but then you just lost more and more bodies. So now that you had a chance to see, all right, well, these guys is out, you could throw the ball some to loosen up the run, and then get Fields. He might got to get some. He might got to get some QB draws or some options, like some read options. Do that type of stuff to like neutralize that defense, because they do got fast backers. They got big guys up front, then they got like fast backers. You gotta neutralize them, and so Herbert is gonna have a tough time, but it's there for him to be okay. Like it's there for him to have like a decent game if they do the right things.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like everything we just talked about, like there isn't a single Bears fan or somebody that wants to bet the Bears, or even just an outsider that has any faith that Matt Nagy can come up with a positive game plan to, to put points up, to make this a competitive game. You're a 13-point dog, Mike. You gotta take chances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to, like, if this is like I said, like this really sets, if the Bears were better coached, I'd be all over this number. But
they wouldn't be that number. They wouldn't be that number if they was better coached. That's the thing. So
good point.
And then
good point.
And then like the week prior, the Dolphins they blew them out, but Brissett almost had 300 yards pass.
Yeah, right. Come on, man.
So like, but they got blew up, and they only scored 17 points. So it wasn't like he was putting right.
They were moving the ball, then they turned it over.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it's there to be had. Like it's there to be had, but it's just that like, I don't know. I don't think this week gonna be the week that Herbert actually gets his shine. He'll get another chance next week. I don't know who they play, but I do think he's good, and I do think they found like another guy that's another weapon for that offense.
All right, well, I think we all in agreement with Herbert. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Because if Fields don't have a big game for them to win, and Herbert gonna have to. So we'll see.
He's gonna have to be a part of it one way or the other.
Yeah, and I like what you said about that passing game too.
Get him involved, little screens, little draw, just little stuff. It doesn't have to be pounding up the middle.
Last year work. Yeah, like that's what you got to do, because you got to get those big guys going east-west, and then that's how you tire them out. Don't just run right at them. That's not going to work. You got to get them going east-west, because they don't want to be chasing guys. They want to stop you running up the middle. Right, once you get them going east-west, then boom, you can go over the top. Because now the linebackers coming up because they looking for the screen or whatever the case may be, and then teams that move the ball against them, that's what they do. Like that's how they able to do it. It's no reason the Dolphins should have had almost 400 yards of offense against them dudes. Like they still got blew out, but they still moved up the yards. As a Bears fan, if they get close to 400 yards of offense, we're gonna be like, what is this? Is this the second coming of like is this the second coming of greatest show on turf? Like what is this? And so like they haven't even got close to that. And so like you can move the ball on them. It's just you gotta be smart with it though.
All right, y'all. We'll move on. Our next topic, y'all already know. Damn, why all the hate. So, DJ, why all the hate for Aaron Rodgers? I got hate too. And Shane, I see that shitty grin of yours. So I'm just gonna jump right in. The whole I'm still on shit. Like, whatever. Okay, motherfucker. If you want to win the Super Bowl or beating the Bears twice a year, so be it. But all that GOAT talk shit, every year Aaron Rodgers doesn't win a Super Bowl, it's one more year away from fucking 2010 when he did win it. It's been 11 years. I'm 34. Been a Bears fan as long as I can remember. I believe 5 years old is when I can really remember. So let's just go for 29 years. 29 years, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, 2 Super Bowl wins. Just saying, You can own the Bears, my guy, but what about everybody else? San Francisco come across your ass, no matter who the hell playing for them in the playoff shit. That's an L. Like who knows what it's gonna be this year? You know what I'm saying? Now don't get me wrong. Rogers just pure, like just the love of the game. He one of the best I've ever seen do it. You know what I'm saying? One of the best, bar none. But how excited can you get by doing the same shit every year and you not winning no Super Bowls with it? That's my whole thing. I'll digress there because I have a lot of hate, but I'll leave it at that. DJ?
So yeah, like speaking of 2010, he and Rogers actually mentioned that today. Like, yeah, this team got the feel of the 2010 team, and you know what happened that year, whatever. And I was like, bro, like y'all not winning. Like if by some miracle something happens and then y'all win it, then okay. But it's like every year it's like, yeah, like oh, we 15-1, we 14-2, we whatever. And so like, yeah, you winning the NFC North division that don't have they have a story history as far as like, yeah, these are like the first teams ever. Not as far as like winning, like it's not a tough division. And so yeah, you beating up on these teams that been trash. I've been a Bears fan all my life. They haven't consistently been like good. The Lions, nobody even talks about them. The Vikings, like okay, so like bro, like so really is the Packers be like the Packers like that bully that got to go to like a new school, and then the bully is now being bullied. So like when the Packers get to the playoffs, they now being a bully because they're so used to beating up on these trash teams every year and then doing all this stuff. And then he talking about this like, oh, yeah, you do own the Bears. That is facts, right? 22-5, Hall of Fame quarterback, great player, all of that, right? But bro, like all of that don't mean nothing when y'all like go to the playoffs and then y'all like losing to these teams that's not folding because y'all used to teams folding. Y'all used to teams folding, and then you. The thing is, you not always losing to a superior quarterback at that either. It'd be a Jimmy Garoppolo, it'd be a Colin Kaepernick, it'd be this guy, it'd be that guy that happens in the playoffs, and then or it'd be somebody else, and then y'all lost to Tampa Bay last year after thrashing them, and so it's like yeah, like when push come to shove, like all of that goes out the window because I'm so used to beating up on these trash teams year after year after year. And it's not even like people make fun of the NFC East, but that's the only division where everybody won a Super Bowl in. And like you're going to get whatever type of play out of that division. Whereas like the North, you're not like 9 times out of 10, those teams is not going to do nothing. And so it's cool. Like you the big man on campus until you got to change schools. And that's when we get in the playoffs. And now you a dirty little freshman and then ain't nobody rocking with you. And that's what happened with them. They go to the playoffs and teams figure, all right, let's figure something out. Either you, your coaching, the defense, whatever the case may be, is cool. And like I said, like Hall of Fame quarterback does own the Bears. All is winning, and I mean it's 2 Super Bowls in 30 years. And yeah, as a Bears fan, they only got one, and it's been even longer. But bro, like we ain't had no Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and so yeah, that just hit different. Like Eli got 2, Ben got 2, like, and so like it just guys, your contemporaries, they figured out a way to get it done when it's time, and then they don't always get a chance to beat up on like these trash teams every year, and that's why I get all the hate to Aaron Rodgers.
Hey! I love it. Shane, your rebuttal.
Do you guys feel better now? You got that off your chest? You guys feeling okay?
Feel much better.
So let me address the first point. Aaron Rodgers ran in for a touchdown, did the belt, did his little celebration. Some broad in the stands double flicked him off, whatever, and he said, "I own you." Okay. We don't need all the think pieces. We don't need Olin Kreutz's fat ass coming out and whining about this, that, and the other. I mean, it's a fact. Like Packers and Bears. I mean, it's considered a rivalry. It's not really a rivalry when one team just, throttles the other team. But there was a time like it was a legitimate rivalry. And, the Bears had some random good years during the Rodgers and Favre era. And to go as, Rodgers didn't tell the lady in the stands, hey, I got 7 Super Bowls. I'm the greatest ever. He said, no, I own you. He spoke facts. That's it. He spoke facts. Today's Wednesday. That'd be like if I said today's Wednesday. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And to, to go, then you want to bring up he's only got 1 Super Bowl and he's arguably the most, I think most rational people agree he's the most talented quarterback, best thrower. A lot of people like to use that term, the best thrower of the football ever, right? Like, I think everybody agrees Tom Brady's the actual GOAT. I still say Peyton Manning's a better actual quarterback than Tom Brady, but that's a whole nother story. But you can't argue with Brady's success, right? But look at Brady. Look at if you break down like Aaron Rodgers' playoff losses, his defense is giving up almost 30 points plus. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing his part. He's putting up numbers. The only game he didn't was the game against San Francisco 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They were 7.5 point dog in that game. They were 7.5 point dog in the Seattle game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, when I will look back at the Rodgers era when it's over, probably after this year, maybe one more, who knows? Will there be some disappointment that there was only 1 Super Bowl out of it? Yeah, there will be. But you also have to look at it as, win-loss is not a QB stat. You know what I'm saying? Look at Tom Brady. How many points did Tom Brady put up against the Rams? You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Brady lost to Eli Manning twice. Tom Brady lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Like, you can't just look at it as, okay, well, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so that's a failure on Aaron Rodgers' part. It's an organizational failure. It sure the hell helps though to have that. It sure the fuck helps to have that. And I'm not arguing the fact that that there were organizational failures over the years. Yeah, but when we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, like, only having 1 Super Bowl, like, it's a Green Bay Packers failure. It's not an Aaron Rodgers failure that, more likely than not, he's going to have 1 Super Bowl when it's all said and done. Like, that's not even, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Drew Brees, man. Look at some of those years, those Saints teams. Drew Brees got 1 Super Bowl. Nobody ever talks about that.
But they don't also.
Saints are also they do unserious franchise.
Yeah. So but Shane, that it's always unfair. Like that QB win-loss stat. Even though they don't, that's not a real stat. That's like a thing that they measured them guys on. And so, like, it'd be like Dan and the Dolphins. Like, they was like, man, this dude was, and he only got there once, and they didn't win it. But they was like, man, he was. Like, he threw a pretty ball. He beat the 85 Bears. He did this, he did that. And so, like, because the way that they bring you up is part of, like, your wins when it mattered. And so, like, yeah, you was right. The Packers did fail them, but at the same time, they gonna look like, bro, like, you had a couple of MVPs, you had this, you had that.
I would say, so, yeah. Those are all fair points. I would say that the only real failure, I would say, was last year. If you look at some of the playoff losses, and I would say the last year I'd say that was, the worst that there's been, because guess what? That was the first NFC Championship game that he lost at home. All those other losses were all road games. 7.5 point dog to Seattle, and it took the horrific coaching job by McCarthy, kicking field goals from the 1. A dropped onside kick. Like, is that Rodgers' fault? No. You know what I'm saying? And the throttling in Atlanta when Matt Ryan, they put like 40 on him. And then the San Francisco game 2 years ago when Jimmy Garoppolo, like, completed 8 passes or some bullshit. When, Mostert, a guy that'll be selling used cars in 2 years, he had like 300 yards. Like, I mean, so, like, it's an organizational. I'm not arguing that it's not an organizational failure. I've said that, agreed, but you can't just say, okay, well, like, this is a Rodgers failure, because they're not even close to some of these situations if it wasn't for him.
No, but then but the thing is, he gotta close the deal, because when you think about the Packers, you say Rodgers and the Packers. When you think about the 49ers, for example, you be like, okay, there goes the Niners. So when people talk about the Packers, they start with him because he's the guy. Everybody don't have this guy. And when you think about a team, like even the Packers could have the number one defense. And then I remember like a year in the stretch they had like a number 1 or 2 deep defense. They still was talking about Aaron Rodgers because he was the guy. And so like every quarterback and every team don't get that same treatment. And so when you're that guy and when you are that, it's going to rest on you. Like, don't nobody care about no Jimmy Garoppolo, but they will say the Niners. The Niners got Shanahan. The Niners got this defense. They got this. They got that. The Packers could have the same exact thing, but then they like, no, they be like, yeah, LaFleur is a better coach than McCarthy, but that'd be like small print. It's what is Aaron Rodgers doing? And is that unfair? Yeah, kinda, but at the same time, it's like he's that guy, and everybody don't get that same treatment though.
And I know Mike's not going to want to hear what I have to say next. I know he's not going to want to hear it, but his boy and his team, his second team, Patrick Mahomes, they are well on the way to being the exact same thing the Green Bay Packers were post Super Bowl. Because we just talked about this. Because Patrick Mahomes just had the greatest 3-year stretch by any quarterback in the history of the league. Better than Rodgers' peak, better than anything you ever saw from Manning, Brady, the numbers, the everything backs that up. And what'd they get? 1 Super Bowl. And now, like, you're looking at a Chiefs team, and I'm not trying to flip the script here and deflecting the Rodgers, criticism, but I'm just saying, like, it's a good point. What if we go another 4 or 5 years and Mahomes is still doing Mahomes shit and they're just not winning? Then what? Then are we turning on Mahomes and saying, well, he's somewhat of a failure? Or are we going to look at it as an organizational failure? Because I don't think because
it's go talk. It's go talk. When you got that go talk shit going on, whether you the one that's saying or not, that shit got to get backed up. But
I don't think, but Mike, there's no argument. Like, everybody agrees that Tom Brady is the GOAT. But you can say, you know what? I think Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are actual better quarterbacks than Tom Brady, but they're not the GOAT. That's a different argument.
The way I say it is, I say Brady, he the king of the ring. The
Nobody's
motherfucker
going to
got
argue
7 championships. He's the king. When it comes to holding royal court, he's the fucking king. Me, I'm a Peyton Manning guy. I've never seen nobody play the actual position of quarterback better than Peyton Manning.
I'm with
never seen that before. And that was from under center and the shotgun later in his career. He did both. He won 2 championships, 2 different teams, 2 different systems. And I feel like Mahomes is on that trajectory where he might not win. Y'all know I'm still holding my shit because I said last year they were going to win 3 out of 4. So they missed it last year. So I'm eating crow if they don't win this year. And I still think they're going to win. I just think the thing is, hell yeah, it's going to be the same thing. 10 years from now, Mahomes don't have another championship, don't have another Super Bowl win. Yeah, we're going to talk that same shit.
Yeah, because they also put that out there too.
Mahomes has another quarterback in his division also. Something that Aaron Rodgers has had another quarterback in his division with Matt Stafford, but nobody gave a fuck about Matt Stafford. He played for the fucking Lions. Mahomes has Justin Herbert now. That's the real deal. He ain't leaving the Chargers no time soon. So he got somebody that's on his ass at his position, and team is actually all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be different there. Like nobody but you, Shane. Nobody but you, Shane, thought that the Chargers were just. And I don't even know if you thought they were gonna roll like this, but nobody had them. It was Chiefs, and then who's next? And we had to see Herbert again because it's 1 year. So I think that's like the big difference. But because what in the North, only the Bears have won. I think since Rodgers has been they won twice.
I believe the Vikings won once.
Yeah, the Vikings won. I think
the Vikings did win once. The year that they lost, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. When that was, remember that was the game. Stephon Diggs.
The miracle.
Yeah.
That was the year. But the only reason they won that was because that's when Rodgers broke his collarbone. And he was out for the whole year. I'll say this. My last point about Rodgers is this. I don't think any reasonable person says that the Packers only got 1 Super Bowl out of the Rodgers era. Yeah, that's a disappointment. But nobody 5 years from now, or whenever Rodgers retires, the 5 years, when he's inducted in the Hall of Fame, everybody's talking about his accomplishments, you're going to hear very few. Yeah, but they only got 1 Super Bowl. Nobody's going to take that away from like his legacy. You might say, we might have this conversation like, damn, man, how the fuck, like, 10, 15 years from now, when you're talking to, younger people that didn't watch Rodgers and be like, man, I watched this guy, Rodgers, man, they only got one Super Bowl. That was wow. But it's not going to deflect from his legacy and what he was and how dominant of a quarterback he was. Because
absolutely not.
Like when we talk about Dan Marino, we say, yeah, he didn't win a Super Bowl, but nobody's like, man, Dan Marino was, overrated, a fraud, or, we should take this away from him. Like, you'll have some old heads will tell you that man was the best quarterback they've ever seen. Like, Marino was obviously a little before, we're all the same age. We were a little before our time, but like some of those old heads will tell you that, guys that know the game will say that this man was the best quarterback I have ever seen.
Right. It's just like NBA when you got an old head that tell you about Kareem and they'll be like, fuck Jordan, Kareem is the best ever,
Yeah.
Or, even younger guys now that are talking about LeBron, they really didn't get to watch. So I don't think it diminishes his legacy at all. I think it is just like a damn, what the fuck? They only won one.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
And then with all that Brett Favre stuff too, because like growing up,
like, Brett Favre, man.
You heard all this stuff about Brett Favre, and then as I got more into learning like what was going on, I was like, wait, this dude only won one time, and then I was like, what happened? Because normally, like when you hear how great guys is, you hear about multiple championships that they won, at least two, because NFL is harder than NBA. Like niggas in the NBA, they can go back to back to back, and then you have seen it where they'll do 3 and 4 years or whatever the case may be. NFL is much harder, but then when I hear about these guys and how great they was, you be like, man, he only won one. He played how long? 21 years.
DJ, add to that, they were, and I know to some people like this, this doesn't matter, but somebody like me and Mike, this matters. The Packers in '98, when they lost to the Broncos, they were 14-point favorites in that Super Bowl. That's a little known fact. Like that was supposed to be a blowout. Rodgers and all the NFC East or all the NFC championship games, the only time he was favored was last year. He was a touchdown dog in 3 of those games. So like I realize like that's the average person doesn't give a shit, but like that mattered. Like that means something. It's football is the ultimate team sport. And we look at somebody as good as Rodgers and it's gonna be, man, they only got one. And for me personally, as a fan that's watched this team, at the entire structure, to me, Mike, how many years ago did I say Mike McCarthy should have been fired? I truly believe had they made a coaching change, I said that they should have, there would be more than one Super Bowl. I do a 1,000% believe he cost them.
Well, Mike McCarthy might be in the Super Bowl this year. So
I don't know about that. They talking about him doing the same. He's basically doing the same thing he's doing with the Packers, but they winning. So now
he's not a good coach. He's not a good coach.
Yeah, but let's wait till I want to see him win with that team in January, because he was winning some of those games, and Rodgers was masking problems of McCarthy for years for horrific decisions that he made. And let's wait and see, because you watch the way he managed the game, the clock on Sunday. He was made some brain dead mistakes.
Yeah. And then football, one of those things where 9 times out of 10, it's gonna catch up with you. Like
100%.
It's very rare that you gonna ride all these lucky streaks and then you're gonna be able to do that all the way to February. Like that's rare. Now sometimes it do happen, but that's rare. Like 9 times out of 10, the ball not gonna bounce your way. Something fluky is gonna happen. But it's like, bro, you shouldn't even been there in the first place. And I feel like with McCarthy being who he is, the Cowboys being who they are, it's gonna be a disaster sooner or later, because that's just who they are.
It's guys, it's got to be set up for them to meet in the playoffs, doesn't it? It's destiny, isn't it, for McCarthy versus Rodgers in January in a divisional game. Because I think Dallas is as long as Dak stays on his feet, they're going to run away with that garbage ass division. And you could say the same thing about the Packers, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think we're going to get that game again in January.
Yep.
But Mike, so I appreciate you giving me a lot of credit on the Chargers, but let me raise my hand and quickly, before I log off, say a team I was dead wrong on is the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, man, that offense, I have no idea what you're supposed to do to stop them.
Then
Like,
they
I
got
don't.
fucking Zach Ertz. They just picked up Zach
Yeah.
Ertz.
Yep. Like Zach Ertz ain't what he was, but that's a guy that's going to help in like the red zone type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's, man, like
He's
I
better
don't.
than
And
Ben
Green Bay and Arizona play next Thursday night. I have no idea how you stop that team right now.
They gonna know how to exploit them second and third string corners. Better hope
Hell yeah.
Jair Alexander is back because
I-
they know how to do that.
He's not going to be back. He's out a minimum 3 games, so that includes next week.
They did so yeah. So yeah, and then your boy King, he back. Kevin King back.
He's questionable. They'll probably sit him this week because they know they can beat Washington at home. But like I don't even know how. Like Kyler Murray, they're torching good defenses. Imagine what they're going to do against man. Like we had a little bit of MVP talk, and I mean I don't know how. Like if the season ended right now, you got to give Kyler Murray the MVP, right? Like I think like there's a lot of guys that names deserve to be in that category.
Yeah.
But for me, like if you're ending it right now, it's got to be Kyler.
Clearly, I think Kyler. And I wasn't a Kyler Murray guy.
Me either. But I'm flipping that script.
I had to troll my way into it. I called him before the season because Mike had asked me like, man, he gonna be good. I was like, yeah, bro, he in the right system. I didn't 100% think that, but I was like, hey, I stuck to it. I gotta keep it going. Then he won Rookie of the Year, so I'm like, all right, bet. So like I always been on the train because I just said it and then I just stuck with it. I didn't expect for this to be like this because I still think that coach sucked though. Like I don't think he's a good coach. I think right now he's benefited from having elite players playing at an elite level. Like because if he was that great of a coach, they had the same guys the past what number of years, and y'all was 8-8 both years, which you was 8-8 in college or below 500 in college, and then now all of a sudden you got this guy playing at an MVP level. I don't think he's a good coach. He's now just benefiting though.
I'm with you on that. But at least in the regular season, it might not matter. I don't see how that team's going to lose many games. Like their offense is just so potent and their defense has been solid.
Yeah, that's all
like
they need.
Like JJ Watt, I thought I laughed at the JJ Watt position. I'm like, this guy's washed. This guy's got nothing left.
Yeah.
And, like he's produced, and they're scary right now.
Yep.
So you guys hop on your little Ben Simmons shit, that fucking clown.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna
get him
hop
out
off.
of here. Get him out of here
for me.
Ben Simmons. Get him out of there for you.
All
Shane,
right,
we appreciate you, dog, hopping on.
You got it.
Appreciate
all
you,
right.
Shane.
So,
We'll see you.
Get him out of here. Ben
I'm out of
Simmons.
here.
Yeah, get Shane ass out of here too for the Aaron Rodgers. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Your boy, Ben Simmons.
Man, he been the same. Like, I don't understand his beef. If you feel like that the organization didn't have his back, all right, cool. But bro, like you get paid a lot of money to just like go and hoop. And obviously you don't like care about getting better. You've been the same player, you've been the same guy since you was like 15, 16. You can say he got better on the defensive end. I mean, maybe did he just try harder? Like you 6'10", you got all the God gifted talent. These as you was coming up, guys was throwing out names like Bron and Magic and all these different guys, and they normally don't do that with everybody like that. Like and so like he always had it made for him. Like everything was made for him. His daddy was a former pro athlete. He grew up in Australia, came over here, got to go to one of the top high school programs, went to college, like didn't really have too many expectations over there, was done with the season. I don't think they went to the NIT or whatever, like didn't like elevate the team there. Like you the number one prospect, number one player, like you didn't elevate the team there in the SEC when you can, because that's not a strong conference. If you're not Kentucky every year, like who else is really good every single year?
Make it to the fucking tournament.
Yeah, and so like when you when you the number one guy, usually like that's all right. We at least going to make it to the tournament. Like we at least going to do it because my talent is going to get us to want to be seen, and then they're gonna put us there. It's very rarely that you got a number one pick, a clear number one pick, not a guy that come out of nowhere like Fultz or something like that. A clear number one guy going to a team with a couple other guys that was supposed to be decent, because not only did Ben go, that class that he went in was decent. That class that he went in was like a pretty decent class, probably one of the best classes that school didn't had in a long time. And so you had guys to go with you, and you just didn't do nothing. And then now you get here, you injured, and then you finally playing, and then now you mad at whoever because you don't want to shoot in the fourth quarter. And so, like, I don't really understand the beef from his standpoint, because you there to hoop. Yeah, you requested a trade. Your team tripping because they asking for what they're at fault. They asked for way too much. Yo, his stock is not really high right now because, of how last season ended and then what's happening now. But, bro, just go to work. Like, go to work, do what you got to do, and then Bidge will start back up. But literally, like, I'm tired of watching these videos in the summer where he's shooting threes and shooting fadeaways and doing all of this stuff. They don't do in the game. Like I forgot what somebody called it, like summerfish, like catfish, summerfish. Like, I don't want to watch no more summerfish basketball. Like, I am good on that, because you watch all these guys do all this stuff, and then when it comes time for the game, they ain't doing none of this stuff. They ain't get better. They ain't done nothing. And so, Buddy been the same player for the past 8 years. Like, he hasn't improved on nothing. At least we watch Giannis shoot, like, because I think that's a really good comparison. Giannis didn't even know what a basketball was until later on in his life. By the time Giannis figured out what hooping was, Ben Simmons was already the number one player in the world for high school, right? And so we constantly saw improvement of a guy that just like want to get better. And then although I don't think his jumper, I think his jumper still broke. At least in the preseason, we saw him attempting these jumpers, and someone was going in, and his form is actually looking a little bit better. But he's attempting, and Giannis actually wants to be great. I don't think Ben want to be great. Like, he's cool. I got my max deal. I got 4 years, 70 million guaranteed coming to me no matter what. Like, I'm cool, and for me, that's really unacceptable. And all defensive team is cool, but you can't be nobody point guard. You can't be nobody point guard and you scared to shoot in the fourth quarter. Like, that's unacceptable, because you are the point guard. Like, you are going to have the ball, and then maybe a team needs to keep him off the ball. Maybe you need to go to a team with another point guard where, like, he don't need that responsibility. He needs to go to a team with a person that's not gonna clog the lanes. Somebody that's gonna be on the outside shooting jumpers. But at the same time, bro, like, you not getting better, and you don't care. Like, you don't care. Like, I don't see the drive, the same energy, the same effort from this dude. Like, I just don't see it. It be stretches where he be like, man, you be like, why he can't do this every game? And we got to question his effort. Like, yeah, he almost won Defensive Player of the Year. That's cool. That's great, actually. But it's like, we need you on both sides. You can't play. We can't play 4 on 5, because you can be a Draymond, but he got a Steph that's not clogging the lane. Like, and they got to play that.
Draymond shoot the damn ball every now and then, even though it look like he got a book bag on when he doing it. He'll at least shoot it.
Yeah, he at least shoot it. But being like fast breaks, like, bro, all right, maybe your jumper not gonna get that right, bro. Can you go post? Like, you 6'10". What if the point guard is 6'10"? Like, can you go post? Can you work the mid? Can you work the mid range? Like can you work from the midpoint and then operate in the paint? Like, you can go post, because Embiid gonna want to shoot some threes or whatever. Like, he can go call for the ball and be like, Coach, I need to do this. I'm pretty sure Doc Rivers won't be like, nah, we don't want you posting. Like, bro, ain't no other point guard 6'10". Somebody else would have to defend you on the block. Get something else in your game that you can do at an elite level, and then, like, not get kicked out of practice. Like, that just don't make sense. And for that, you got to get him up out of here.
Yeah, I was the biggest Ben Simmons fan, man, but I can't even defend him.
Yeah.
Even after the when he passed up on a wide open layup and passed to a nigga who was double teamed in the paint, like, I tried to defend him after that shit. But now it's just like, you don't even want to go and handle your business, like, you being a coward, and now you missing out on M's because you don't want to go hoop. So like you said, the Sixers request was real unreasonable. I guess Doc Rivers couldn't get an Austin Rivers trade package going, so he had to just ask for the house. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's definitely unreasonable, but I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know where he going. Or maybe this dude will be done. Maybe he'll be Shanghai Sharks in a couple months. Shit, I don't know. But
Knee how.
I thought
Yeah.
dude had like endless potential, man. Like when he came into the league, and it's just like you
Yeah.
said it best. Like he been the same player. What going on 5 years now? He been the same guy.
At least.
So it's just like there's no change, no progression, just Kardashians and vibes, I guess. So
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. And now that's fine.
he
Go
only
live
want
your
to play
life.
in He only wants to play in California, I think. So,
And then that's not gonna work, bro. Like you don't like what's the leverage? Like the only thing he got is like, hey, I'm gonna get paid no matter what, but I'm not gonna get paid if I keep getting suspended. So cool, but it's like it's only 3 Cali teams. I mean, no, 4. My bad. It's 4 Cali teams, and so like a couple of those teams is very unrealistic. Like, all right, you want to go play in Cali, but we finna send you to the Sacramento Kings. Like, all right, bro, we about to send you. And the Warriors thing is not gonna work out because we can't have 2 non-shooters. Like, we can't have 2 guys that don't attempt to look at the basket. Like,
actually,
no,
they just picked up by Lisa, and now they got a actual big man that can shoot. And Steph has never had. They've never had a big man that can stretch the floor. Because like Wiseman, but like Lisa has proven in the league that he's a stretch big that can play in and out.
Yeah.
So that's like now you don't even have clogging no more. Like you can go 5 wide on the Warriors now. So Ben Simmons definitely interrupts that shit.
Because
Lakers not happening, Clippers
Yeah.
not happening. Your Clips, they not going to your Clips.
Not my
you know
Clips.
what I'm saying?
They don't even get nobody. Like they don't even got like ain't no package they can put together for him. He would actually help them and he would fix some of their problems, but they don't have a package for him that would actually work. I seen a package that they put together, but it's like I don't think that the 76ers is going to take it. You basically like they'll basically get rid of like Man and Leonard, Kennard and somebody else, and then some picks and stuff, but then they don't even got no picks because they traded them all. But like, yeah, they don't even got a realistic package. You only looking at like the Kings, and then I don't know. I just do that CJ and match your salaries and call it a day. CJ match your salaries, move whatever, and then call it a day. Y'all can get CJ McCollum and he can play on the ball because he don't get to do it that much with Dame. He play off the ball. Get CJ McCollum and then call it a day. That way, Ben don't got to bring the ball. Ben don't got to in Portland. They don't got to depend on his like particular scoring because they didn't always need CJ to go off. They just need CJ to not
what's
tweak.
CJ average though? Like CJ average like a dub, don't he?
Yeah, he do.
You gotta replace that.
Yeah, but I mean, Ben average like 15, but CJ would average. Yeah. So if Ben could do that and then stop another team from scoring 5 or 7, like that's gonna because CJ would average a dub, but then give up like 20, 25. Yeah,
Steve, I know you're a big podcast. I know you watching, you know what I'm saying? So no disrespect, but bro, you burnt toast on the defense. I could get CJ McCollum 40. You give me a fucking NBA roster and that motherfucking check, I'll go get CJ McCollum fucking 40 points right now. I promise you I will. Promise you. So, I promise you.
And so like when CJ not scoring, when CJ is cold, like that's why they lost in the playoffs last year because he was cold. He's not really doing nothing else. He not playmaking. He not doing nothing else. And I like him. Like when he's on, he's on. He probably gonna be a 20-point per game scorer for his whole career, and then won't have no all-star appearances or nothing, which would be wild, right? But like I'll just do that trade. I'd be like, hey, we gonna take him. We know he can get buckets. You ain't gonna get even value, but then they should have enough defenders over there to make up for his, like to me, that's a balance. Now, you gotta make everything fit. To me, that's a balance. Ben don't gotta bring the ball up the court no more. We don't need him to score 20. Like we don't like the ball not gonna be in his hands. He can go defend and because they play no defense in Portland. And so like he can go do that. Like if he want to just only do that, like, all right, bro, go and do that. Go be tall. But yeah, I really don't know where he's going. Like, because really he's talking about I want to play in California. Yeah, bro. We'll send you. We'll send you to hell. Send you to Sacramento and free my boy Fox. By the way.
Free the Aaron Fox, man. Free the Aaron Fox. Marvin Bagley just got free from there. Lisa free from there. Free Bogdan
Bagley.
free from there.
Oh yeah, Bogdan free. Bagley free.
Yeah, Bagley free.
What they do?
He well he owned the Kings, but like I think this is last year, and his agent basically was just like, yeah, this is last year here, like because they got him out of rotation and shit. So he like they agent like was basically saying like that they're mismanaging him, like he's not gonna play there no more, like because it basically is like he not fucking playing the way he should to, and he was like they don't have no plans for him now or in the future, so like they didn't give him no deal, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like, you know what I'm saying, fuck around, gonna bring him back and not play him, so that ain't gonna be free. Free Harry Barnes, free everybody on the Sacramento Kings organization, man.
Except for Luke Walton, he can say.
Shout out Harrison Barnes too, man. He's still number one player in his class. I know he still got that shit. I know you watch it too, Harrison. So I'm be checking you out this shit, player. Stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Duke boys for life. We had a Luke Kennard mentioned on the show too. Shout out Luke Kennard. I know you watching too. You know what I'm saying? Duke boys.
You were saying Harrison Barnes. You mean Harry Giles, right?
I mean Harry Giles, not Harry Barnes.
Yeah.
Harry Giles.
Yeah. But
shout out
Harrison Barnes.
Too. He's the only UNC player I really fuck with, the Black Falcon. Shout out Harry Barnes too. Harry Giles. Harry Giles. Until he's stuck. Fuck the Sacramento Kings organization though. Shout out to Aaron Fox and all the rest of the homies though. But fuck the Kings. But yeah, Ben Simmons. I mean, I was a fan. I'm pretty much all but off the wagon because it's just like, dog, like you supposed to be the Fresh Prince and all that shit, and now you just look like burnt toast. So shit, get his ass out of here. On to the next one. We'll keep up with what he's doing this season, but
yeah.
All right, D. Well, another one, dog. Another one down. We both been working and pretty busy, man. So we had a little decline on the pods, but we're gonna keep the content coming from y'all. So don't worry about it, y'all. We got NFL, we got NBA, we got NHL, we got MLB, we got college football going right now. There's a lot of sports going on right now, so we should have a lot of content for y'all. So for our loyal watchers, thank y'all. Be well.
This is the season for it. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Peace out, D.